Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today's January 2nd. One more day out here in Hilo, Hawaii before I'll be back in the Pacific Northwest and doing the briefings from home. If we take a look at the infrared satellite imagery, you can clearly see the system that is moving onshore as we speak. There's actually some fog out there in some of the valley areas as well. So if you run into that, slow down. But this frontal system will help stir that up. This has also got some cold air associated with it. It's going to bring some nice snowfall amounts across the Sierra Nevada. And then after that, we're not done with cold storms, and we'll take a look at that as we go through the video here this morning. Taking a look at the Los Angeles National Weather Service here, you can see the Tuesday night, Wednesday storm here, and then we got Wednesday night through Thursday. Some of the lower snow levels are going to be across some of the higher terrain, and we got another system coming in this weekend as well, so heads up for that. This was updated yesterday, but it still applies. We're going to be looking at those systems in some detail here on the weather models in a moment. Taking a look at San Diego National Weather Service, you can see Big Bear Lake as we go on in through Wednesday through Thursday. Big Bear Lake 4 to 6 inches here, and some of the higher terrain might get 6+, 8+ inches out there. See, not widespread, but definitely chillier systems incoming here. And this is looking bouncing back towards Northern California. We got Eureka, California here. You can see 8 to 12 inches of snow accumulations above 4,500 feet. Heaviest snow expected Tuesday afternoon and evening, and the winds could be gusty as well. Where? Northern Trinity County mainly. This includes Highway 3 at Scott Mountain Summit here. So be careful out there if you're out and about traveling around. This is for the Sacramento National Weather Service here, and this is mainly for Interstate 80 over Donner Pass, Highway 50 over Echo Summit, 88 over Carson Pass here. And this goes from 10 p.m. this evening to 4 a.m. Thursday morning here. And the snow level is going to be dropping down as we go on in through Wednesday as well. But when the lower snow levels come, the precipitation will also be tapering off. But then we've got additional systems as we go towards the weekend upcoming here. Now, this is looking at Hanford National Weather Service. They're talking about that snowfall as well. We got winter weather advisories out there. And yeah, you can see that generally lower elevations, lesser amounts, makes sense, right? And you can see snow accumulations 12 to 18 inches above 6,000 feet. And this goes all the way through 4 a.m. Thursday morning, these winter weather advisories. And you can see the I-5 corridor here. And of course, then you got the Sierra Nevada there. Now, taking a look here, this is for Reno here, and you can see that we've got some snow for the higher terrain as well. Greater Lake Tahoe area, snow totals 2 to 8 inches, locally above 10 inches above 7,000 feet. You see Mono County above 7,000 feet here as well, up to 10 inches along the Sierra Crest. And this is winter weather advisory for Las Vegas. Check it out. Some of the higher terrain across some of southern Nevada here getting in on the action as well. You can see mainly above 6,000 feet, 2 to 4 inches out there. Some slippery roadways are possible. Now, taking a look at the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh. This is this morning's run here. And every 6 hours, the model extends to 48 hours out. So we're going to get a look at this system rolling in. You can see this precipitation moving across the areas we go through this evening here. And you can see the frontal system pushing down across towards Southern California, and you can see the snow starting to pile up across Northern California and starting to push across the Sierra Nevada. This will be about midnight tonight, and you can see the snow should be flying, maybe even heavy at times here across some of the Sierra Nevada. And yeah, frontal system will be trying to approach Southern California here as we go into the early morning hours tomorrow morning. As you can see, I scroll ahead there, and you can see the snow continuing on in through tomorrow morning across some of the Sierra Nevada, some of the higher terrain of Nevada as well. And there's thunderstorm potential with this as well, especially across some of the coastal areas as we go on into the next day or so. And this would be about Wednesday night, midnight here, and the precipitation is going to be starting to cut off here, but there's still going to be some showers probably behind that also. Then we'll be turning our eyes to the next system that's going to be dropping down out of the northwest, a very chilly low pressure system there, and we'll be monitoring that one to see how much moisture it has to work with, but more on that here in a moment. Here's the thunderstorm outlook, and this would be for tomorrow. This is Wednesday morning through Thursday morning. You can see up and down the coastal areas here, and portions of Arizona and New Mexico are included in that as well for thunderstorm potential. Now, taking a look at the upper levels of the atmosphere, this is 18,000 feet. 500 millibars, and you can see the storm system off the coastline here. So this is a GFS hot off the presses. You can clearly see the system slide down California, and then we turn our eyes to the next system, and you can see it way up here towards southeast Alaska, western British Columbia here, and this one's going to be packing some very cold air with it as well, and you can see it really carve out over much of the west. So if we can get any moisture at all associated with this, we're going to bring some nice snowfall across some of the mountainous areas here, and more on that here in a moment. And then you can see as we scroll off into the future, another chilly trough dropping down over much of the west. This is looking over 180 hours out towards 200 hours, but still model's been pretty good in agreement with this very chilly pattern change coming up here for much of the west. Now, I wanted to show you something else here as well. So we're looking at the northern hemisphere here. Let me scroll this up. You can see we've got Washington, California. There's the Hawaiian Islands here. Japan is way over here. This is the northern hemisphere, and we're looking at about 10,000 feet, I believe. Yes, 700 millibars, 10,000 feet. And you can see the colder air aloft here, and you can kind of see the Rossby waves bubbling around that colder air across the northern hemisphere there. And this is what's known, of course, as the mid-latitudes here, where mid-latitude cyclones develop where that strongest pressure gradient is. And if we put this into motion, you can actually see the system right there that's impacting us as we go through the day today and tomorrow down into California, sweeping down across the southwest. And you can see we get a little bit of a break here, but then we're going to be watching for this cold air as it comes across the Gulf of Alaska, and that's what's going to drop down across much of the west. You can clearly see it here as we move towards next weekend. So if we trace that back, you can see that cold air there. It goes back across the Gulf of Alaska here, scrolls all the way back towards, comes just north of Japan here, and probably off somewhere across Siberia here. It's portions of Asia. So this moves all the way across the Pacific Ocean, Gulf of Alaska, and will drop down into California. So just kind of showing the origination of that next weekend storm coming up. Now this is looking at the GFS, the 12Z run here. So let's take a look at the future a little bit as well with the actual 6-hour precipitation and sea level pressure map. There goes the system. You can see it spinning down across Southern California here and across much of the state. A little bit of a break here. Weekend pulse kind of slides through as we go through the day Friday. And then that next chilly trough, you can see it dropping down here and bringing some precipitation with it. And that would be very cold air alofts here. So hopefully that's going to bring some nice mountain snow for the Sierra Nevada. And then another system there as we go on into the extended forecast as well is going to drop down the west coast. Kind of an inside slider there, so hopefully it does have some precipitation to work with as that chillier air moves down across much of the west. And also wave heights. This is going to have some elevated wave height activity with it as that system moves in. You can clearly see it by the time we go on into tomorrow morning. The wave action will increase, move down across Southern California, as you can see, by Wednesday night. And then we'll continue off into the future here. Tiny bit of a break there, but then that wave action will return here as we go on in through the weekend here. So yeah, pretty interesting weather incoming here, folks. Big pattern change, a lot of chilly air. Now, taking a look at the water temperatures off the coastline here as well, we are well above average, so that's going to help to enhance some of this precipitation that does move in and, again, bring some threat of coastal thunderstorms. Now, taking a look at the NAM3 cam, this kind of shows that instability as well. I like to just kind of play this out so you guys can get a visual representation in your head. And you can see the frontal system traversing down the coastline here towards Southern California and the associated instability with it. And that's the difference between the surface temperature or the temperature out over the water versus the temperature aloft, convective available potential energy here. So that's that thunderstorm fuel. Now, taking a look at total snow. So this is National Blend of Models. I start scrolling ahead through the day here, and you can see first Northern California starts piling it up here as we go through this evening. Then it starts sliding down the Sierra Nevada, and again, some of the highways and I-80 could be getting some measurable snowfall out of this. So heads up, be prepared for that if you're going to be out and about traveling. And then as we scroll in towards the weekend here, again, that upper level low is going to be pretty chilly, and hopefully it can add to that snow. We are behind so far this year, so we definitely need it. And then maybe off into the extended forecast. Hopefully that next storm system can bring some measurable snowfall with it. But we'll worry about that as we get a little bit closer. Still 180 hours plus out there. This is the European total precipitation in inches. And once you start getting into the blues, you're getting up over a half an inch. You start getting towards the yellows, you're getting up over an inch here. And you can see some nice amounts incoming here. And this spreads down all the way across Southern California as well. And we scroll off a bit more into the future, and you can see next weekend storms start to pivot down across the state also. So yeah, interesting stuff here. A couple 1-2 punch here of some very cool systems, and then a potential third after that as we go on in through the extended forecast. This is the National Blend of Models daily 2-meter min temperatures here. So for example, let's just go ahead and show this. This is for Thursday morning here, and you can kind of see the chillier temperatures out there across Nevada and some of the Sierra Nevada here. You know, winter is going to be coming. It's going to feel a little bit chilly out there for a lot of the areas here. And you can see some of the overnight lows down into the 30s for some of the valley areas. Some of the wind sheltered areas probably going to get down below freezing. Some frost out there as well. And yeah, check it out by the time we go on in towards next week. The west really cooling down, as you can see, and some chillier temperatures infiltrating all the way down into some southern areas here. Now this is looking at 2-meter max temperature here on the National Blended Models. I'll put this into motion and you can kind of see, it's still seasonable, relatively warm speaking here across from Southern California, the desert areas, pretty typical stuff there. But you can see some of the chillier temperatures there working their way down across some of the Sierra Nevada, and places like Utah and Colorado. So definitely a cooler weather pattern here coming in here for the west portions of the USA as we go through the first half of January. And this is the 6 to 10 day. Yeah, kind of a, this doesn't do us much good here. We'll just continue to watch these systems. These systems aren't exceptionally wet that move out of the northwest, these inside sliders, so that's probably the reason for that. And here's the 8 to 14 day. This goes all the way through January 15th right now. Still that above average signal here for a lot of the southwest. And look at this 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook. You can clearly see the bullseye down here as these systems driving down out of the northwest here associated with some Arctic air trying to fill in across Canada will start to bring down these temperatures and bring that pattern change to us. And this is just kind of showing you, we'll follow this long month for the month of January here. But for the first day, of course, this is only just for one day. So this will smooth out as we go through the month here as well. But anyway, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, still a little bit under the weather, feeling better, but I can tell that the crud is in my lungs. I'm trying to do the best I can during these briefings, but you know how that gets when you get like the flu and you get a really bad bug and then it kind of turns to pneumonia and you got to do antibiotics or something. So I'm hoping I'm not on that path, but I may be, because when the coughing starts, it can be tough to stop. But anyway, I appreciate the comments. I see a lot of you guys have the same kind of bug, and some people have the exact same symptoms and timeline and whatnot too. So I guess the flu is back with a vengeance here apparently, because I tested negative for COVID. But yeah, anyway, rambling on a bit here. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'll see you guys then, and we'll do it again tomorrow.